Thoughts of Power by Swami Vivekananda. Faith and Strength. 1. Ye are the children of God, the sharers of immortal bliss, holy and perfect beings. Ye divinities on earth. Sinners? It is a sin to call a man so. It is a standing libel on human nature. Come up, O lions, and shake off the delusion that you are sheep. You are souls immortal, spirits free, blessed and eternal. Ye are not matter, ye are not bodies. Matter is your servant, not you the servant of matter. 2. He is an atheist who does not believe in himself. The old religion said that he was an atheist who did not believe in God. The new religion says that he is an atheist who does not believe in himself. Faith, faith, faith in ourselves, faith in God. This is the secret of greatness. If you have faith in the 330 millions of your mythological gods, and in all the gods which foreigners have introduced into your midst, and still have no faith in yourselves, there is no salvation for you. Have faith in yourselves and stand upon that faith and be strong. 4. To succeed, you must have tremendous perseverance, tremendous will. I will drink the ocean, says the persevering soul. At my will, mountains will crumble up. Have that sort of energy, that sort of will. Work hard, and you will reach the goal. 5. This is the great fact. Strength is life. Weakness is death. Strength is felicity, life eternal, immortal. Weakness is constant strain and misery. Weakness is death. 6. The world requires a few hundred bold men and women. Practice that boldness which dares know the truth, which dares show the truth in life, which does not quake before death, nay, welcomes death, makes a man know that he is the spirit, that in the whole universe nothing can kill him. Then you will be free. 7. Doing is very good, but that comes from thinking. Fill the brain, therefore, with high thoughts, highest ideals. Place them day and night before you, and out of that will come great work. 8. Do not talk of the wickedness of the world and all its sins. Weep that you are bound to see wickedness yet. Weep that you are bound to see sin everywhere. And if you want to help the world, do not condemn it. Do not weaken it more. For what is sin and what is misery? And what are all these but the results of weakness? The world is made weaker and weaker every day by such teachings. 9. Let positive, strong, helpful thought enter into their brains from very childhood. Lay yourselves open to these thoughts and not to weakening and paralyzing ones. 10. Never mind failures. They are quite natural. They are the beauty of life, these failures. What would life be without them? It would not be worth having if it were not for struggles. Where would be the poetry of life? Never mind the struggles, the mistakes. I never heard a cow tell a lie, but it is only a cow, never a man. So never mind these failures, these little backslidings. Hold the ideal 1,000 times, and if you fail 1,000 times, make the attempt once more. 11. All the powers in the universe are already ours. It is we who have put our hands before our eyes and cry that it is dark. Know that there is no darkness around us. Take the hands away, and there is the light which was from the beginning. Darkness never existed. Weakness never existed. We who are fools cry that we are weak. We who are fools cry that we are impure. 12. The remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness, but thinking of strength. Teach men of the strength that is already within them. 13. The ideal of faith in ourselves is of the greatest help to us. If faith in ourselves had been more extensively taught and practiced, I am sure a very large portion of the evils and miseries that we have would have vanished. 14. Throughout the history of mankind, if any motive power has been more potent than another in the lives of all great men and women, It is that of faith in themselves. Born with the consciousness that they were to be great, they became great. 15. Let a man go down as low as possible. There must come a time when, out of sheer desperation, he will take an upward curve and will learn to have faith in himself. But it is better for us that we should know it from the very first. Why should we have all these bitter experiences in order to gain faith in ourselves? 16. We can see that all the difference between man and man is owing to the existence and non existence of faith in himself. Faith in ourselves will do everything. I have experienced it in my own life, and I'm still doing so. And as I grow older, that faith is becoming stronger and stronger. 17. Do you know how much energy, how many powers, how many forces are still lurking behind that frame of yours? What scientist has known all that is in man? Millions of years have passed since man first came here, and yet but one infinitesimal part of his powers has been manifested. Therefore, you must not say that you are weak. How do you know what possibilities lie behind that degradation on the surface? You know but little of that which is within you, for behind you is the ocean of infinite power and blessedness. 18. If matter is powerful, thought is omnipotent, bring this thought to bear upon your life. Fill yourselves with the thought of your almightiness, your majesty, and your glory. Would to God no superstitions had been put into your head. Would to God we had not been surrounded from our birth by all these superstitious influences and paralyzing ideas of our weakness and vileness. 19. Look back on yourselves from the state of the amoeba to the human being. Who made all that? Your own will. Can you deny then that it is almighty? That which has made you come up so high can make you go higher still. What you want is character, strengthening of the will. 20. If there is one word that you find coming out like a bomb from Upanishads, bursting like a bombshell upon masses of ignorance, it is the word fearlessness. And the only religion that ought to be taught is the religion of fearlessness. Either in this world or in the world of religion, it is true that fear is the sure cause of degradation and sin. It is fear that brings misery, fear that brings death, fear that breeds evil. 21. Make your nerves strong. What we want is muscles of iron and nerves of steel. We have wept long enough. No more weeping, but stand on your feet and be men. 22. First of all, our young men must be strong. Religion will come afterwards. Be strong, my young friends. That is my advice to you. You will be nearer to heaven through football than through the study of the Gita. These are bold words, but I have to say them, for I love you. I know where the shoe pinches. I have gained a little experience. You will understand the Gita better with your biceps, your muscles a little stronger. You will understand the mighty genius and the mighty strength of Krishna better with a little of strong blood in you. You will understand the Upanishads better and the glory of the Atman when your body stands firm upon your feet and you feel yourselves as men. 23. Men, these are wanted. Everything else will be ready, but strong, vigorous, believing young men, sincere to the backbone, are wanted. 100 such, and the world becomes revolutionized. 24. The will is stronger than anything else. Everything must go down before the will, for that comes from God and God Himself. A pure and a strong will is omnipotent. Do you not believe in it? 25. Yes, the older I grow, the more everything seems to me to lie in manliness. This is my new gospel. Do even evil like a man. Be wicked, if you must, on a great scale. 26. The history of the world is the history of a few men who had faith in themselves. That faith calls out the divinity within. You can do anything. Love and unselfishness. 1. Unselfishness is more paying. Only people have not the patience to practice it. 2. Do not stand on a high pedestal and take 5 cents in your hand and say, "Here, my poor man." But be grateful that the poor man is there, so that by making a gift to him, you are able to help yourself. It is not the receiver that is blessed, but it is the giver. Be thankful that you are allowed to exercise your power of benevolence and mercy in the world, and thus become pure and perfect. 3. By means of the constant effort to do good to others, we are trying to forget ourselves. This forgetfulness of self is the one great lesson we have to learn in life. Man thinks foolishly that he can make himself happy, and after years of struggle finds out at last that true happiness consists in killing selfishness, and that no one can make him happy except himself. 4. That which is selfish is immoral, and that which is unselfish is moral. 5. Learn that the whole of life is giving, that nature will force you to give. So give willingly. You come into life to accumulate. With clenched hands, you want to take. But nature puts a hand on your throat and makes your hands open. Whether you will it or not, you have to give. The moment you say, "I will not," the blow comes. You are hurt. None is there but will be compelled in the long run to give up everything. 6. This is the gist of all worship: to be pure and to do good to others. He who sees Shiva in the poor, in the weak, and in the diseased really worships Shiva. And if he sees Shiva only in the image, his worship is but preliminary. 7. This unselfishness is the test of religion. He who has more of this unselfishness is more spiritual and nearer to Shiva. And if a man is selfish, even though he has visited all the temples, seen all the places of pilgrimage, and painted himself like a leopard, he is still further off from Shiva. 8. It is love and love alone that I preach, and I base my teaching on the great Vedantic truth of the sameness and omnipresence of the soul of the universe. 9. First bread and then religion. We stuff them too much with religion when the poor fellows have been starving. No dogmas will satisfy the cravings of hunger. You may talk doctrines by the millions. You may have sects by the hundreds of millions. Aye, but it is nothing until you have the heart to feel. Feel for them as your Veda teaches you, till you find they are parts of your own bodies, till you realize that you are they, the poor and the rich, the saint and the sinner, are all parts of one infinite whole, which you call Brahman. 10. Feel for the miserable and look up for help. It shall come. I have traveled 12 years with this load in my heart and this idea in my brain. I have gone from door to door of the so-called rich and great. With a bleeding heart, I have crossed half the world to this strange land, seeking for help. The Lord is great. I know He will help me. I may perish of cold or hunger in this land, but I bequeath to you, young men, this sympathy, this struggle for the poor, the ignorant, the oppressed. 11. This life is short. The vanities of the world are transient. But they alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. 12. I do not believe in a religion or God which cannot wipe the widow's tears or bring a piece of bread to the orphan's mouth. 13. Love never fails, my son. Today or tomorrow or ages after, truth will conquer. Love shall win the victory. Do you love your fellow men? 14. Where would you go to seek for God? Are not all the poor, the miserable, the weak God? Why not worship them first? Why go to dig a well on the shores of the Ganga? 15. Believe in the omnipotent power of love. Have you love? You are omnipotent. Are you perfectly unselfish? If so, you are irresistible. It is character that pays everywhere. 16. My heart is too full to express my feeling. You know it. You can imagine it. So long as the millions live in hunger and ignorance, I hold every man a traitor who, having been educated at their expense, pays not the least heed to them. I call those men who strut about in their finery, having got all their money by grinding the poor, wretches, so long as they do not do anything for those 200 millions who are now no better than hungry savages. We are poor, my brothers, we are nobodies, but such have been always the instruments of the Most High. 17. I do not care for liberation or for devotion. I would rather go to 100,000 hells, doing good to others, silently like the spring. This is my religion. 18. I shall work incessantly until I die, and even after death I shall work for the good of the world. Truth is infinitely more weighty than untruth. So is goodness. If you possess these, they will make their way by sheer gravity. 19. All expansion is life. All contraction is death. All love is expansion. All selfishness is contraction. Love is therefore the only law of life. He who loves, lives. He who is selfish is dying. Therefore, love for love's sake, because it is the only law of life, just as you breathe to live. This is the secret of selfless love, selfless action, and the rest. 20. Who will give the world light? Sacrifice in the past has been the law. It will be, alas, for ages to come. The earth's bravest and best will have to sacrifice themselves for the good of many, for the welfare of all. Buddhas by the 100 are necessary with eternal love and pity. 21. May I be born again and suffer thousands of miseries, so that I may worship the only God that exists, the only God I believe in, the sum total of all souls, and above all, my God, the wicked, my God, the miserable, my God, the poor of all races, of all species, is the special object of my worship. 22. Our best work is done, our greatest influence is exerted when we are without thought of self. 23. Religions of the world have become lifeless mockeries. What the world wants is character. The world is in the need of those whose life is one burning love, selfless. That love will make every word tell like a thunderbolt. 24. Self-sacrifice, not self-assertion, is the law of the highest universe. 25. Religion comes with intense self-sacrifice. Desire nothing for yourself. Do all for others. This is to live and move and have your being in God. 26. None will be left, none destroyed. All will in the end be made perfect. Say day and night, come up, my brothers. You are the infinite ocean of purity. Be God. Manifest as God. God and religion. 1. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Doctrines or dogmas or rituals or books or temples or forms are but secondary details. 2. If there is a God, we must see him. If there is a soul, we must perceive it. Otherwise, it is better not to believe. It is better to be an outspoken atheist than a hypocrite. 3. Practice is absolutely necessary. You may sit down and listen to me by the hour every day, but if you do not practice, you will not get one step further. It all depends on practice. We never understand these things until we experience them. We will have to see and feel them for ourselves. Simply listening to explanations and theories will not do. 4. Take up one idea. Make that one idea your life. Think of it. Dream of it. Live on that idea. Let the brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea. And just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success. And this is the way great spiritual giants are produced. 5. These prophets were not unique. They were men as you or I. They were great yogis. They had gained this superconsciousness, and you and I can get the same. They were not peculiar people. The very fact that one man ever reached that state proves that it is possible for every man to do so. Not only is it possible, but every man must eventually get to that state, and that is religion. 6. The embodiment of freedom, the master of nature, is what we call God. You cannot deny him. No, because you cannot move or live without the idea of freedom. 7. No life will be a failure. There is no such thing as failure in the universe. 100 times man will hurt himself. 1,000 times he will tumble. But in the end, he will realize that he is God. 8. Religion is not in doctrines, in dogmas, nor in intellectual argumentation. It is being and becoming. It is realization. 9. Remember the words of Christ. Ask, and it shall be given unto you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. These words are literally true, not figures or fiction. 10. It is good and very grand to conquer external nature, but grander still to conquer our internal nature. This conquering of the inner man, understanding the secrets of the subtle workings that are within the human mind, and knowing its wonderful secrets, belong entirely to religion. 11. In life and in death, in happiness and in misery, the Lord is equally present. The whole world is full of the Lord. Open your eyes and see him. 12. In worshipping God, we have been always worshipping our own hidden self. 13. Religion can be realized. Are you ready? Do you want it? You will get the realization if you do, and then you will be truly religious. Until you have attained realization, there is no difference between you and atheists. The atheists are sincere, but the man who says that he believes in religion and never attempts to realize it is not sincere. 14. I accept all religions that were in the past and worship with them all. I worship God with every one of them, in whatever form they worship him. I shall go to the mosque of the Mohammedan. I shall enter the Christian's church and kneel before the crucifix. I shall enter the Buddhistic temple where I shall take the refuge in Buddha and in his law. I shall go into the forest and sit down in meditation with the Hindu who is trying to see the light which enlightens the heart of everyone. 15. And this religion is attained by what we in India call yoga, union. To the worker, it is union between men and the whole of humanity. To the mystic, between his lower and higher self. To the lover, union between himself and the God of love. And to the philosopher, it is the union of all existence. This is what is meant by yoga. 16. Now comes the question, can religion really accomplish anything? It can. It brings to man eternal life. It has made man what he is, and will make of this human animal a god. This is what religion can do. Take religion from human society, and what will remain? Nothing but a forest of brutes. 17. Who will help you? You are the help of the universe. What in this universe can help you? Where is the man or the god or the demon to help you? What can prevail over you? You are the God of the universe. Where can you seek for help? Never help came from anywhere but from yourself. In your ignorance, every prayer that you made and that was answered, you thought was answered by some being, but you answered the prayer yourself unknowingly. 18. In studying books, we are sometimes deluded into thinking that thereby we are being spiritually helped. But if we analyze the effect of the study of books on ourselves, we shall find that at the utmost, it is only our intellect that derives profit from such studies, and not our inner spirit. This inadequacy of books to quicken spiritual growth is the reason why, although almost every one of us can speak most wonderfully on spiritual matters, when it comes to action and the living of a truly spiritual life, we find ourselves so awfully deficient. To quicken the spirit, the impulse must come from another soul. 19. God alone lives. The soul alone lives. Spirituality alone lives. Hold on to that. 20. The various religions that exist in the world, although they differ in the form of worship they take, are really one. 21. Meditation is the one thing. Meditate. The greatest thing is meditation. It is the nearest approach to spiritual life, the mind meditating. It is the one moment in our daily life that we are not at all material, the soul thinking of itself, free from all matter, this marvelous touch of the soul. 22. Those who give themselves up to the Lord do more for the world than all the so called workers. One man who has purified himself thoroughly accomplishes more than a regiment of preachers. Out of purity and silence comes the word of power. 23. What we need today is to know that there is a God and that we can see and feel Him here and now. 24. There is a vast difference between saying food, food, and eating it, between saying water, water, and drinking it. So, by merely repeating the words God, God, we cannot hope to attain realization. We must strive and practice. 25. Through the terrors of evil, say, my God, my love. Through the pangs of death, say, my God, my love. Through all the evils under the sun, say, my God, my love. Thou art here, I see thee, thou art with me, I feel thee, I am thine, take me. I am not of the world's, but thine. Leave not then me. Do not go for glass beads, leaving the mine of diamonds. This life is a great chance. What seekest thou the pleasures of the world? He is the fountain of all bliss. Seek for the highest, aim at that highest, and you shall reach the highest. 26. We must be bright and cheerful. Long faces do not make religion. Religion should be the most joyful thing in the world because it is the best. 27. Worship everything as God. Every form is His temple. All else is delusion. Always look within, never without. Such is the God that Vedanta preaches, and such is His worship. India. 1. The debt which the world owes to our motherland is immense. Taking country with country, there is not one race on this earth to which the world owes so much as to the patient Hindu, the mild Hindu. 2. To many, Indian thought, Indian manners, Indian customs, Indian philosophy, Indian literature are repulsive at the first sight. But let them persevere, let them read, let them become familiar with the great principles underlying these ideas. And it is 99 to 1 that the charm will come over them, and fascination will be the result. 3. But the older I grow, the better I seem to think of these time-honored institutions of India. There was a time when I used to think that many of them were useless and worthless, but the older I grow, the more I seem to feel a diffidence in cursing any one of them, for each one of them is the embodiment of the experience of centuries. 4. Believe me, there is much talking in other lands, but the practical man of religion who has carried it into his life is here and here alone. 5. I have said that we have yet something to teach to the world. This is the very reason, the raison d'etre, that this nation has lived on, in spite of hundreds of years of persecution, in spite of nearly 1,000 years of foreign rule and foreign oppression. This nation still lives. The raison d'etre is it still holds to God, to the treasure house of religion and spirituality. 6. In this land are still religion and spirituality, the fountains which will have to overflow and flood the world to bring in new life and new vitality to the Western and other nations, which are now almost borne down, half killed, and degraded by political ambitions and social scheming. 7. But mark you, if you give up that spirituality, leaving it aside to go after the materializing civilization of the West, the result will be that in 3 generations you will be an extinct race, because the backbone of the nation will be broken. The foundation upon which the national edifice has been built will be undermined, and the result will be annihilation all round. 8. Europe, the center of the manifestation of material energy, will crumble into dust within 50 years if she is not mindful to change her position, to shift her ground, and make spirituality the basis of her life. And what will save Europe is the religion of the Upanishads. 9. Our aristocratic ancestors went on treading the common masses of our country underfoot till they became helpless. Till under this torment, the poor people nearly forgot that they were human beings. They have been compelled to be merely hewers of wood and drawers of water for centuries, so much so that they are made to believe that they are born as slaves, born as hewers of wood and drawers of water. 10. The truths of the Upanishads are before you. Take them up, live up to them, and the salvation of India will be at hand. 11. Do you feel? Do you feel that millions and millions of the descendants of gods and of sages have become next door neighbors to brutes? Do you feel that millions are starving today and millions have been starving for ages? Do you feel that ignorance has come over the land as a dark cloud? Does it make you restless? Does it make you sleepless? Has it gone into your blood, coursing through your veins, becoming consonant with your heartbeats? Has it made you almost mad? Are you seized with that one idea of the misery of ruin? And have you forgotten all about your name, your fame, your wives, your children, your property, even your own bodies? Have you done that? That is the first step to become a patriot. The very first step. 12. Come, be men. Come out of your narrow holes and have a look abroad. See how nations are on the march. Do you love man? Do you love your country? Then come, let us struggle for higher and better things. Look not back. No, not even if you see the dearest and nearest cry. Look not back, but forward. 13. With all my love for India, and with all my patriotism and veneration for the ancients, I cannot but think that we have to learn many things from other nations. We cannot do without the world outside India. It was our foolishness that we thought we could, and we have paid the penalty by about 1,000 years of slavery. That we did not go out to compare things with other nations, did not mark the workings that have been all around us, has been the one great cause of this degradation of the Indian mind. We have paid the penalty. Let us do it no more. 14. Some of these old temples of southern India and those like Somnath of Gujarat will teach you volumes of wisdom, will give you a keener insight into the history of the race than any amount of books. Mark how these temples bear the marks of 100 attacks and 100 regenerations, continually destroyed and continually springing up out of the ruins, rejuvenated and strong as ever. That is the national mind. That is the national life current. 15. For the next 50 years, this alone shall be our keynote. This, our great Mother India. Let all other vain gods disappear for the time from our minds. This is the only God that is awake, our own race. Everywhere his hands, everywhere his feet, everywhere his ears. He covers everything. All other gods are sleeping. What vain gods shall we go after and yet cannot worship the God that we see all round us, the Virat? When we have worshipped this, we shall be able to worship all other gods. 16. We must have a hold on the spiritual and secular education of the nation. Do you understand that? The education that you are getting now has some good points, but it has a tremendous disadvantage, which is so great that the good things are all weighed down. In the first place, it is not a man-making education. It is merely and entirely a negative education. A negative education or any training that is based on negation is worse than death. 17. India I loved before I came away. Now the very dust of India has become holy to me. The very air is now to me holy. It is now the holy land, the place of pilgrimage, the Tirtha. 18. If you want to become equal with the Englishman or the American, you will have to teach as well as to learn, and you have plenty yet to teach to the world for centuries to come. This has to be done. 19. The degeneration of India came not because the laws and customs of the ancients were bad, but because they were not allowed to be carried to their legitimate conclusions. 20. When you have men who are ready to sacrifice their everything for their country, sincere to the backbone, when such men arise, India will become great in every respect. It is the men that make the country. 21. I consider that the great national sin is the neglect of the masses, and that is one of the causes of our downfall. No amount of politics would be of any avail until the masses in India are once more well educated, well fed, and well cared for. 22. Keep the motto before you: elevation of the masses without injuring their religion. 23. Education, education, education alone. Traveling through many cities of Europe and observing in them the comforts and education of even the poor people, there was brought to my mind the state of our own poor people, and I used to shed tears. What made the difference? Education was the answer I got. Through education comes faith in one's own self, and through faith in one's own self, the inherent Brahman is waking up in them, while the Brahman in us is gradually becoming dormant. 24. My whole ambition in life is to set in motion a machinery which will bring noble ideas to the door of everybody, and then let men and women settle their own fate. Let them know what our forefathers as well as other nations have thought on the most momentous questions of life. Let them see specially what others are doing now, and then decide. 25. I do not see into the future, nor do I care to see. But one vision I see clear as life before me: that the ancient mother has awakened once more, sitting on her throne, rejuvenated, more glorious than ever. Proclaim her to all the world with the voice of peace and benediction. 26. My life's allegiance is to this, my motherland, and if I had 1,000 lives, every moment of the whole series would be consecrated to your service, my countrymen, my friends. Miscellaneous. 1. Education is not the amount of information that is put into your brain and runs riot there, undigested, all your life. We must have life-building, man-making, character-making assimilation of ideas. If you have assimilated 5 ideas and made them your life and character, you have more education than any man who has got by heart a whole library. 2. Poverty there must be, so long as the disease known as civilization exists, and hence the need of relief. 3. The West is groaning under the tyranny of the Shylocks, and the East is groaning under the tyranny of the priests. 4. The whole of the Western world is on a volcano, which may burst tomorrow, go to pieces tomorrow. 5. Asia laid the germs of civilization. Europe developed man, and America is developing woman and the masses. 6. 3 things are necessary to make every man great, every nation great. 1. Conviction of the powers of goodness. 2. Absence of jealousy and suspicion. 3. Helping all who are trying to be good and do good. 7. Do not try to lead your brethren, but serve them. The brutal mania for leading has sunk many a great ship in the waters of life. 8. The faculty of organization is entirely absent in our nature, but this has to be infused. The great secret is absence of jealousy. Be always ready to concede to the opinions of your brethren, and try always to conciliate. That is the whole secret. 9. From all of you, I want this, that you must discard forever self-aggrandizement, faction-mongering, and jealousy. You must be all forbearing like Mother Earth. If you can achieve this, the world will be at your feet. 10. There is no chance for the welfare of the world unless the condition of women is improved. It is not possible for a bird to fly on only one wing. 11. Women must be put in a position to solve their own problems in their own way. No one can or ought to do this for them, and our Indian women are as capable of doing it as any in the world. 12. I know that the race that produced Sita, even if it only dreamt of her, has a reverence for woman that is unmatched on the earth. 13. Even idiots may stand up to hear themselves praised, and cowards assume the attitude of the brave when everything is sure to turn out well. But the true hero works in silence. How many Buddhas die before one finds expression? 14. The wonderful structures of national life which the Western nations have raised are supported by the strong pillars of character, and until we can produce numbers of such, it is useless to fret and fume against this or that power. 15. Work on as if on each of you depended the whole work. 50 centuries are looking on you. The future of India depends on you. Work on. 16. One cannot serve the God of truth who leans upon somebody. 17. I am to create a new order of humanity here who are sincere believers in God and care nothing for the world. 18. Each work has to pass through these stages: ridicule, opposition, and then acceptance. Each man who thinks ahead of his time is sure to be misunderstood. 19. Life is a series of fights and disillusionments. The secret of life is not enjoyment, but education through experience. But alas, we are called off the moment we begin really to learn. 20. The road to good is the roughest and steepest in the universe. It is a wonder that so many succeed. No wonder that so many fall. Character has to be established through 1,000 stumbles. 21. This mixture of life and death, good and evil, knowledge and ignorance is what is called Maya, or the universal phenomenon. You may go on for eternity inside this net seeking for happiness. You find much and much evil too. To have good and no evil is childish nonsense. 22. Even the greatest fool can accomplish a task if it be after his heart, but the intelligent man is he who can convert every work into one that suits his taste. No work is petty. 23. They only do work who think that help will come. Directly they are on the field of work. 24. This is the first lesson to learn. Be determined not to curse anything outside, not to lay the blame upon anyone outside. But be a man, stand up, lay the blame on yourself. You will find that is always true. Get hold of yourself.